Denise Roach.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to spend this call talking about my supplementary order paper, which I'm really hoping the member and the chair will actually support as well. And that is, it's an amendment to the original Act and a restoration of what was in the bill that was put forward by Mr. Flavel, which is to take racing and racing meetings out of what is known as the authorised purposes of the Act. I think we need to actually think about what the Gambling Act is about. And the Gambling Act of 2003, it says that the only reason we have pokies in New Zealand is to contribute funds for community purposes or for authorised purposes. And those authorised purposes are a charitable purpose, a non-commercial purpose that's beneficial to the whole or a section of the community. And then somewhere in the mid-2000s, after the 2003 Act came into being, there was an amendment to it which said that promoting, controlling and conducting race meetings under the Racing Act, including the payment of stakes, that became an authorised purpose as well. Now, the original intent of the 2003 Act was to support community organisations, to support good charitable organisations that do great things for their community that don't make money in other ways. Now, I'm not sure about anyone in this House, but from my point of view, those people who own racehorses do not strike me as being charities. And I think that that is anathema to most people to know that the proceeds of one form of gambling are supporting another form of gambling, particularly when you take into account the millions that passes through the New Zealand Racing Board from their own gambling. So I'm hoping that there will be some support, particularly from the Māori Party members, for this SOP tonight. And now it's really interesting about the authorised purposes, because pokie trusts tend to forget that the only reason they actually exist is to distribute that money for authorised purposes. They frequently act as if they own that money and that it's their largesse that they distribute it. And it was really offensive to me to find out that during the submission process, a couple of pokie trusts was using the money that they got from that gambling money, which was for community purposes, to lobby, to hold workshops for community organisations and scare them into putting in submissions against Mr. Flavel's bill. Now, I'm not sure about anybody else in this House, but using community purpose money to lobby or to influence a select committee strikes me as something that is terribly meddling with democracy, and democracy, frankly, should not be bought. It's for this reason that I am opposed to the government's suggestion that we put some of the harm minimisation attributes of this bill into the regulations, because, as Mr. Lotoenga said, that will mean that there will be further consultation with the industry. And what we know is that the pokie industry scared community organisations into opposing this bill, and we had over 30,000 submissions, most from community organisations fearing that they were going to lose money. Now, I take on board what Mr. Hipkins said about national organisations fearing that they would not be able to access funds, but with the original intention of an 80-20% split, that 20% of the proceeds could go elsewhere. I don't believe there would have been many national organisations that would have suffered or lost money. Mr. Chair, we have created an addiction. We've created a society where our community organisations are addicted to pokey money.
I call the Honourable Member Sua William Sia. Talofa lava.
Talofa lava, Chairman, and thank you for